ready, please.
This is the Diamond Jubilee Challenge Cup between Wycliffe Junior Rowing Club A on the Berkshire station on your left and Henley Rowing Club on the right-hand side of your screen on the Buckinghamshire station.
Attention! Go!
And the quads are underway. They're always so fast, so furious off the start. And I think it might be Wycliffe here with the better of the starts, but Henley Rowing Club rolling right back into it, Jim.
I love the contrast off the start. You know, there was that nervous excitement and the silence, and then they're off. They explode down the island. Henley a little bit off track start with their correcting nicely back into their own water. And then as we look at what a cracking view of that Wycliffe crew. That synchronised, they're all moving together at the same speed, driving that boat forward, getting up to race pace, really getting on with the legs, locking that power in, and driving the boat forward.
Yeah, what I love to watch with the quads, Jim, is those knees going down together, and that's something that the Wycliffe quad are doing really well. All the knees hit the deck of the boat at the same time, and we're looking here now at Henley Rowing Club, and it's Freya Weiser in at the stroke seat here for Henley. She's setting that rhythm, and they've come down onto a really nice cruising pace here, Jim.
They look really calm, don't they? There's no tension in their faces. They're settling down to really nice races, and they're coming up to this quarter-mile signal. That's that white box you see at the top of the screen here. One of the first signals on the course.
Well, it's tight so far, and it's been tight all season between these two clubs, between Wycliffe, between Henley. Henley, of course, have been dominating in junior women's rowing up until kind of this season, really, and suddenly other crews starting to creep in, Wycliffe being one of those. And look at here at this blade work here from Wycliffe Junior Rowing Club. It's certainly, you know, giving them the better boat speed at this point in the race, Jim.
It is. They're all moving really nice together. Both crews, I'm just looking at the strokes they're taking. They're both settled into their race with them really nice early, though. Both crews look really relaxed. Setting it a nice long with you talking about the knees all going down together, putting that power in an efficient way. Henley looking slightly longer at this, so even though they seem to be down at stage, just have that longer, maybe more efficient stroke. Whether that will tell later in the race, I don't know.
Do you know what? I think if, you know, briefing Henley and prepping Henley, they will know that Wycliffe have had a really great last couple of weeks. You know, they made that final of the Henley Women's Regatta on this same course, whereas Henley only progressing to the semi-final. They'll know they're up against it, and I think they're going to have to keep calm under pressure here.
Yeah, but as to the younger crew, the Henley crew, but they seem to be coping slightly better. Especially if you look at the crew now, you get a really close look. So as we're looking at the Henley crew, we've got Matilda McCartney at bow, Gwenny Hunter at 2, Tabitha Horn has talked about Freya Weiser with a stroke there.
Yeah, and they are keeping calm under pressure, but just potentially adjusting their steering here away from Wycliffe. Now, it's a challenge in itself to steer down the Henley course, let alone when you're only half a length down on some of the toughest competition you're going to face here in the Diamond Jubilee.
And obviously steering is such a key factor in a coxswain's boat. The umpire's boat they see in the background, that will go down the middle, and that will adjudicate where each other's station is. And obviously you want to avoid using the rudder as much as possible. Every time you put the rudder in, act a little bit of brake on the boat speed, so you want to minimise it. But the course isn't very wide. It's only 24 metres wide. The boat's about 6 metres wide, so every crew's only got 3 metres or so either side, and you really don't want to be dicing with the booms.
And on the furthest right-hand side of your picture there, you can see Stella Fielder in the bow seat for Wycliffe. She's the person with the steering shoe, with the wires that control that rudder down this course, and she's really done a fantastic job of keeping them on the right station, whereas Henley, you know, despite being on home water, you'd have thought they'd have practiced this time and time again. They're right out in the centre of the course here, Jim.
But we've seen this, remember the visitors on Wednesday, the visitors 4 on Wednesday night. You can be incredibly experienced athletes and practice it all you want, but actually when you're in a race and you're put under pressure, strange things happen. And here we are coming to the white box in the background, the Forley marker, so we're just through halfway. Wycliffe's starting to move out in front. It's hard to tell from this particular shot, but it looks like a length or more.
Yeah, and this is going to be interesting to see how Wycliffe deal with Henley still hanging on to their coattails here, because as long as they're still relatively within contact, those sprinting stages, I wouldn't write Henley off at all here.
And I was watching that signal in the background go up, and it looks about a length and a half. For those of you who don't know the course very well, there's markers on the course, and the station 1 and station 2 numbers go up to show everyone all the way down the course, even with a pair of binoculars, the distances between the crews. And we'll get a really good view here, just over a length maybe when we get the side-on shot, just approaching Upper Thames Rowing Club, and then the Remenham Club. Yeah, almost exactly, just a fraction over a length, isn't it?
Yeah, gently, slowly, Wycliffe, centimetre by centimetre, pulling away from Henley Rowing Club, who will be starting to feel pain on their faces now as Wycliffe move away, and they're staying really relaxed still. A sign of a really good crew. That is Freya Weiser in the stroke seat, Tabitha Hall behind her, Gwenny Hunter and Matilda McCartney, who just takes a look over her shoulder, and she's the one that's going to have to encourage this crew now back into this race. We
just saw Freya calling up. You know, as you said, these 4 athletes, they know this course really well. Wycliffe, although they'll train here, they're obviously the home base in the Gloucester and Sharps Canal, and they won't be so familiar with here. But Henley are doing their absolute best to come back in. You can see they're really starting to take it up now. Maybe the steering's suffering a little bit. But what can they do as they come into the enclosures? Because there, I'm sure, will have the home advantage from the cheers from the bank as they're coming into the regatta enclosure and the stewards enclosure.
Yeah, absolutely, and Matilda McCartney in the bow seat, she continues to look to see how close they are. But you did mention Wycliffe Junior Rowing Club. They train on the Sharpness Canal. It's quite a small, tight bit of water. They've got kilometres and kilometres, but certainly they're used to steering really well in a small and intense environment in the wind, but they won't be as used to this stream. But look at that, they've really capitalised on those last couple of 100 metres, just closing the door on anything Henley can throw at them.
They've done brilliantly, haven't they? In that last couple of 100 metres, we said earlier, it's a slightly windy part of the course, but also it's a strange part of the course. It's really quiet. There's not much on either side of the river, and different crews handle it in different ways. I think Wycliffe have done brilliantly. They sort of squeeze an extra length out of Henley, and here they come charging down to the last 200 metres. Yeah. Henley are going to have to do something really special to come back from this.
They really are. Ella Fullman in the stroke seats, Catherine Burton, Yasmin Hans, Stella Fielder here, who are taking on their second Henley Royal Regatta, with the exception of Catherine Burton, who's new into the 3-seat. This is her first experience of racing here at Henley Royal Regatta, let alone the Friday, with so much pressure placed upon their shoulders against Henley Rowing Club. Well, they've taken that on in spadefuls, Jim.
I think Wycliffe have found another gear. They're just taking up to 36, maybe 37 strokes a minute. You see they're starting to pull away.
Yeah, you can see they've got a couple of stroke rate meters in the boat there, down towards their feet. Those little devices tell them the stroke rate that they're going at, and they've got one further at the boat, one further back at the boat, so all of the athletes know exactly what they need to do to take the rating where they want to.
As they're coming up to the last 100 metres, so just how synchronised they are, moving together those really long, powerful strokes, and that's what's made the difference. Every single stroke they take is an inch or two out of Henley.
And it's going to be disappointment here for the home fans from Henley, as Wycliffe, all the way from Gloucestershire, are going to topple them in this Diamond Jubilee Challenge Cup, sending them back home up the river. And Henley Rowing Club crossing the line there, and they will go out of the Diamond Jubilee Challenge Cup to Wycliffe Junior Rowing Club.